Hey guys, welcome back to another mod showcase. This time we're looking at the Cyclic mod. There's a lot of different items to have a look at, and I'm wearing some of them right now. I've got the emerald armor and the emerald sword. So let's have a look and see what else we can have, see what else we can craft. There's a lot of different weapons here. We've got the sandstone grade items, which uses sticks and sandstone. So we've got the axes here, the swords, 4.5 attack damage. It's not that good, but if you've got nothing else, well, it's better than nothing. Then we've got the emerald swords, which are pretty good, 8.5 attack damage, and all of the other emerald items as well. We've got the crystal swords, which are the best. This does 10 attack damage, so that's pretty amazing. And then we've got the nether items as well. Let's just have a look at the recipes for these other ones here. The crystals use diamond and then crystallized obsidian, which is made from crystallized amber, which is also a part of this mod. And then we've got emeralds and chorus flowers and obsidian, and the emeralds are just made from emeralds, as you would expect. And then we've got the nether axes, which are made from sticks and nether brick. So yeah, they're the basic items. And then we've got a few special swords here as well. The Sword of Decay shoots slowness, Sword of Atrophy shoots weakness, and then we've got the Sword of Evasion, shoots an ender pearl. So these swords are pretty good. If you want to, yeah, just right click and you will shoot out a slowness potion at your enemies. Then Sword of Atrophy, there we go, and that shoots a weakness potion. And then Sword of Evasion shoots an ender pearl if you need to get away quickly. So that's pretty cool. A few different swords there, which is amazing. What is that little ender? Oh, he's attacking me. Let's try a weakness. He's got weakness. Let's give him some slow and try to attack this little endermite. I don't know where he came from. So they're the basic weapons there. Very, very handy to have. Let's have a look at some of the other useful items here. I do really like the climbing gloves. There's a great big cliff here, and if you want to get up, you can just use the climbing gloves and you'll get up really, really easily, just like that. You don't even need to be holding it in your hand. Let's just drop back down again. Yeah, as long as it's in your inventory, it doesn't have to be in your hotbar either. As long as it's in your inventory, you can use the climbing gloves. So really, really handy. Now, if that's a little bit too easy for you and you want to try something else, you can use the player launcher and shoot your way up. Oh, didn't quite get all the way up, but I'm still bouncing apparently. There we go. Oh, yeah, I like the player launcher. Whoa, why am I bouncing? Why am I bouncing? Is that because of the player launcher? Let's have a look at the recipe at this. Yeah, it does use slime balls, diamonds, and glowstone as well. So you'll need to go and get some glowstone. Then we have the climbing gloves, which use slime balls. Slime balls are pretty hard to find. Iron ingots, leather, and ink sacks as well. So it's not just for going up cliffs like that. You can also just head across the landscape like this. Yeah, and I think it does have some slime balls in there so you bounce and don't take damage. There you go, beautiful. So yeah, I really like those. If you want to try something a little bit different, let me grab a pickaxe here. So we do have one more item for getting around. Let's just dig my way through here a little bit. If you're down in the mines and you want to get up quickly, you can just use a rod of elevation, just right click, and it takes you to the top. So really handy to have if you're down mining. It takes you to the nearest surface above you. So just right click and it will teleport you above to the surface. So really handy tools there. So we've got some nice weapons, and then we've got the crystal armor and the emerald armor as well. So some different options there. So that is pretty amazing. Okay, so we've got some few other useful items. We've got the Spirit Seeker. Let's just go and grab a few of these items here. The Mattock, the Brush Scythe, and the Cave Finder. Just some useful tools, some random useful tools. With the Cave Finder, you just right click on the ground. It tells you how far away a cave is. So 32, 32, 29. So you can just have a look around and see if there's anything nearby. Doesn't look like there's any caves too nearby here. All about 30. Oh, distance 1. Okay, so is that distance 1? Yeah. So it's the block under the block you're clicking. There we go, and there's a cave just down there. So it worked. Okay. It's good for finding easy access into caves. The Cave Finder. Then we've got the brush scythe. I really like this one because if you need to clear out large areas of grass, watch this. There we go. Bang, all gone. I really like the scythe. Then we have the mattock, which is similar to a pick, but it does a 3x3 area. So let's just break that. There we go. Very easy for mining. Then we've got the torch launcher, another useful tool. You can just launch torches out like that. No need to make dozens and dozens of torches. They also stick to the sides of walls, which is really nice. So yeah, you can just make the torch launcher. Then we've got the Spirit Seeker as well, which just sends out missiles to nearby enemies. There aren't any enemies at the moment, so I might have a look at that a little bit later. But let's take a quick look at the recipes. The Spirit Seeker is made with iron ingots and gold and diamonds. Then we've got the mattock, which is made with blocks of quartz and some obsidian there. The brush scythe, just sticks, stone hoe and some string, so fairly easy to make. And the cave finder is made with sticks, coal, flint and lapis lazuli. So there's some more useful tools. Very, very handy to have. Oh, the one last thing I didn't show you was the corrupted fruit. The corrupted chorus fruit. There's the recipe there, fermented spider eyes, so fairly difficult to make, and some chorus fruit there as well. So yeah, another option for just getting through cliff faces like that, like this, is to eat some fruit. You can just phase through the cliff. Look at that. I'm inside of the cliff and I can just phase through to the other side. It doesn't last that long. Let's phase through again. Whoa, but once it finishes, you do have blindness for a few seconds. Blindness and weakness for about 10 seconds, I think. So it's very handy for getting through the walls, solid walls, but then you do suffer from blindness and weakness for a little while afterwards, but not too long. Okay, so there's the weapons, the armor, the useful tools. We've also got some machines. We're going to have a look at these now. So we've got a forester, want to have a look at that. We've got the generator, which is the power for this mod. Then I think you can use power from various mods. I think it's fairly compatible with other mods as well. The peat farmer and the item collector, which is very handy to have as well. So I'm going to start with the peat farmer, I think. I cleared out some area here. Let me just put this down because we need the peat for fuel. So if we right click here, peat farmer, this will actually spread out the peat, the dry peat, and turn it into the peat that we can use and harvest. Let me just have a quick look. So what we need is the biomass. Biomass is made from leaves and vines, so you will need some shears. Grab the leaves and the vines and turn those into biomass, and then the biomass is used to, let's have a look at this. Why can't I get the recipe for, no, we need the recipe for the dry peat bog. So the biomass is used down here with dirt to make dry peat bog, and then we can use that, put it near water, it turns to just peat bog, and then we harvest it and we get these bricks, the peat. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. And then once you have the bricks, you can use just a little bit of biomass and make even more peat bog. But the best thing to do is to use a machine, an automatic machine here. So let's grab this peat here, and I can start working on these machines. Okay, so we're going to put all the peat, all the dry peat in here. It needs water and it needs power. I should probably put the water in first. Let me just fill this up. So I'm going to put the generator down next to it, and as soon as it starts getting some power, let's go and put some peat in here and power this up. There we go, starting to power up. Just give it a few seconds. And the power's, because I put it right next to the peat farmer here, the power's just going straight into the peat farmer, and it's starting to use the dry peat bog. If we turn around, you'll be able to see the peat bog being laid down somewhere. Okay, so I couldn't work out why this wasn't working, but there's a selection up here, requires redstone, or we can turn it to always on. So let's put it always on. And now it's starting to use the peat. Let's turn around, and it's starting to lay the peat down. So what it will do is lay the peat down first, and then it will lay down the water. So I do need to keep giving it some water. I'm getting blocked in here. So yeah, you will need to keep giving it some water, and it will automatically make the little water spots so that this peat turns into, so the dry peat turns into the regular peat. That will take a few seconds. There we go, there's the water. The water's being placed in now, which is fantastic, and the peat is being laid, and there we go. There's some harvestable peat there. I'm going to let it automatically harvest, and we should get the bricks coming up in a second. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so it's made the peat bricks there, and that's what we need to power these generators. So this will just keep working automatically for as long as there's energy in here. So, and these peat bricks have quite a lot of energy, so it will last quite a long time. Just a few bricks will last quite a long time, so that's really amazing. Okay, so lots of power in there, but we are out of water, so it does use a fair amount of water. It would be good just to actually pump it in. I'll just fill up a little bit more water though. And yeah, then we'll have a look at some of the other machines. We also have the forester, so let's just place the we don't need a big forester, do we? Let's place the forester down there. Let's right click. We're going to put it always on. We can have a look at the preview. That's absolutely massive. I don't want a forest that big. We're just going to make a little forest. Let's go with maybe 3x3 or 5x5. 5x5 should be fine. Okay, so that's going to be the size of the forest. Let's grab these saplings, the birch saplings. Now I could pipe over the energy from there, but I do have another generator. So I'm just going to place the generator down there and see if I can get this powered up. Let's go and fill that with power. You can see it's working. It's generating some power there. We don't need it to go that high. Let's just go maybe 20 blocks high is high enough. 5x5. And let's place in the birch saplings there. And it's going to start planting those saplings. You can see them spinning around. Let's give it just a little bit of time. And it's starting to plant the saplings, and they will start to grow as well. What I could do is just grab a little bit more dirt, and it shouldn't take too long here for the trees to grow. But luckily it doesn't need water or anything like that. It just needs a bit of power, and it will start planting down these saplings, and when they grow it will automatically harvest them as well. Okay, so this machine uses a lot of water. I filled it up, it's already empty again, so I think it will need to pump in some water here to make that work effectively over time. But we've got the harvester here, the forester, working pretty well as well. There we go, there's the first tree, so that's going to chop that down slowly over time. And we need a way to collect the items, so I'm just going to hop on over here and place down an item collector. Now I think it collects items the opposite way you're facing, so if I place it down there, it should collect items behind me, I think. Let's go and have a look. Let's turn on the preview. Let's make it really, really big. 19 by 19, I think that's the largest. There you go. So a big area there where it's actually collecting items. Is it reaching past the peat bog? I don't think it is. I may need to have two of them. One for the harvester, one for the forest over there. Yes, not quite reaching to the forest over there. But that's okay. You probably need to have two of them. But it is covering the entire peat bog, which is fantastic. Let's turn that off, and as you can see, it is collecting the peat as that pops out. Okay, so that's working pretty well, just collecting the peat over time there, and I should have another one for the forest over there as well. But that will do for now. Let's have a look at one last machine here. I've got another generator connected up to an auto crafter, and you just put in the recipe there. This is the recipe for the slow conveyor belts, but you can put in any recipe you like and put in the raw materials over here. If it's always on, then it will just automatically make those recipes. And then if you just, we've got some conveyor belts here, so I guess I can just stand on there and let it drive me along. I guess I could put the put some animals there or some items. You can throw the items down, and they get sent along the conveyor belt. So you may want to set up a factory or something like that. Let's have a quick look at the recipes for the machines. We've got the auto crafter here, which uses the purple dye, bone blocks, an observer, and some kind of crafting table and a piston bench. The peat fire generator uses peat, pistons, coal, and iron. Then we've got the forester, which uses spruce, or any kind of log, a daylight sensor, and some furnaces. The item collector uses hoppers, droppers, lapis, and iron ingots. And lastly, we've got the peat farmer, which uses gold ingots, peat, a couple of generators, an observer as well, and that makes the peat farmer. So they're the basic machines for this mod. There's more. There's tons of different items. Okay, so there's just one last thing I wanted to have a look at in this mod. If I go over back to my my trusty chest here, we've got some different weapons, some very unique weapons. I'm going to bring a fire extinguisher just in case, the fire slayer, just in case things get out of hand. But it is raining, so it's probably good. Let's have a look at the recipes. The fire extinguisher is the iron ingots, the water buckets, rose red and magma. Then we've got the some staffs here. The engraved thunder launches lightning orbs. This is made with a ghast tier, ender pearl, crystallized amber, block of redstone and glowstone. Then we've got the triple shot of fireballs with obsidian, crystallized obsidian and gold nuggets, and the frostbringer, fire, snow and ice with redstone, coal, blocks of iron and ice. So let's try these out first. Let's try the frostbringer out first. Whoa, okay, that's pretty cool. I do like that one. That's pretty amazing, and it would be good if you get in a tough situation, you've got lots of enemies around. Be good to have that. Let's try the X here for the dark fireballs, which is I think 3 fireballs, which is cool. And let's try the lightning bolts as well. This one is pretty amazing. Oh, there we go. There's the lightning. Woohoo! Okay, I thought things would get a little bit out of control. So let's go and see if I can just there we go. Use the fire slayer. Oh, I can't get rid of these ones. I can't get rid of the dark fire with the fire extinguisher. They will probably go out over time, so that's okay. But yeah, just some interesting weapons. Lightning bolts, yeah, that's pretty cool. I do like that one. And the durability is pretty good as well. These ones go a long way. They fire pretty straight, and you can send them a long way off. And the frost attack as well. So yeah, just some really interesting items in this mod. I do really like it, and I'm sure there's something there that you'll find really useful as well. So thanks for watching. See you all again soon for another mod showcase. Bye!